right, just about 5 minutes after 10 o'clock, John Sotomayor is in the studio. He, of course, is the executive editor of Ocala Magazine and the host of this show, Ocala Magazine Radio. Good morning, John.
Good morning, Larry. How are you?
Good. How you doing?
I'm doing great, thank you.
Good. Looking good.
Thanks. I'm very excited about today's show. We're going to focus on athletic programs that combine spirituality with sportsmanship, faith with football. And we have two coaches here today from St. John Lutheran. My guests today are Coach Brock Marion, former NFL player for the Dallas Cowboys and Miami Dolphins. Good morning, Brock.
Morning.
And also Coach Anthony Fisher, who is the athletic director of St. John Lutheran. Good morning, Tony.
Good morning.
Well, what I want to do first is ask Brock to first introduce yourself briefly, telling us a little bit about yourself, about your NFL days, and what you're doing now.
Well, I guess you said it all. I am Brock Marion. And what I'm doing now is I am currently coaching with St. John High School. I'm a head football coach there, and I'm loving that. Loving the challenge of coaching and just enjoying life. I am married and have 6 beautiful children, wife Carrie, daughter Brianna, daughter Olivia, son Brock Jr., daughter Hannah, daughter Genevieve, and son Luke.
Wow, nice big family.
It is a nice big family. Everything's busy around the house, but we live and own a blueberry farm, and it's harvest time at this time of year, so on top of school and because we homeschool our kids and blueberries and coaching, we are very, very busy. So football career wise, I very rarely talk about myself in football terms, but I did play football for 12 seasons. NFL wise, man, I've been playing football since I was in the 2nd grade. So,
and we'll be talking about that too.
Yeah, it's been a long time. But 5 years with Dallas. I've got 2 Super Bowl rings there. 6 years with Miami, and 1 year with Detroit. So I've played a long time, NFL wise. That's a lot of bumps on the cabeza.
Right.
So sometimes I forget what I'm talking about, but
cool.
Yeah.
Well, thank you, Brock. We're very pleased to have you
Thanks.
here joining
Thanks for having
us.
me.
And same question for Tony. Can you introduce yourself? Tell us a little bit about yourself, your ties to athletics, Lutheran faith, and what you're doing now.
As you mentioned, Anthony Fisher. I'm originally from Milwaukee, Wisconsin. Went to a Lutheran school basically from K4 all the way up through 12th grade. My great-grandfather actually lived right across the street from my Lutheran grade school, so it was just a natural progression to attend school there. My ties to athletics, you let my parents tell it, and I probably was born with a basketball, so I've been playing basketball for as long as I can remember, and it's been a major part of my life. The things that I'm doing now, I'm the athletic director at St. John Lutheran School. I also teach some personal fitness and life management course, and I'm also the head varsity boys basketball coach at St. John Lutheran School. So truly blessed to be at St. John.
Excellent, excellent. Tell us, what are some of the goals of the athletic program at St. John's Lutheran?
Well, first and foremost, the school in itself is a Christ-centered environment, and so the main purpose there is just to foster our student athletes to basically serve their Lord and Savior and be prepared for whatever it is that He has planned for us. I would say the second goal of our athletic program is the academic portion. St. John Lutheran School offers a wide variety of courses that prepares our students for the next level. As we all know, a high school diploma is just not going to cut it in today's working environment, and you need to be prepared beyond that, and we certainly prepare our students for higher learning. The third goal of our program, I would say, would be focus on family, making sure that family is certainly a priority and that you're spending time with family and that you put them above a lot of the other things that could be placed above your family. And last but certainly not least is yourself, and that would more so be to just give time for yourself and to refresh by doing things that you enjoy. And Coach Marion and I could both say that sports is one of those things that we do for ourselves.
Absolutely. Okay, great. And Brock, I wanted to ask you, first of all, we featured both of you in our March issue with a feature called Rock Like Brock, and it talks all about your football career and what you're doing for the students at St. John Lutheran now as their coach.
Right.
So can you tell us, with the 5 seasons with Dallas Cowboys, a 2-time Super Bowl winner, followed by 6 seasons with the Miami Dolphins, and the last season with the Detroit Lions, can you give us a little bit more detail about what it was like to live out your childhood dream and play with the NFL?
How much time we have?
We have time.
Okay.
Plenty of time.
I tell you what, I've learned so much from sport, not just football, but sport in general. I think a lot of the kids today, they're so sport oriented, and they think they're just one sport oriented. I mean, you can learn so much from being a football player on the basketball court, and vice versa, and baseball. I mean, to be able to play something that you love to play, and now I'm being able to coach a sport that I've loved to play, is I'm just truly blessed there. But I think about growing up and all I knew was football. Like Coach Fisher mentioned that, he was born with a basketball. Well, I do truly believe that I was born to play football and to be in this spot that I'm in right now, to be able to give back to some young boys, students, whoever that I crossed paths with, that football was easy.
Right.
I didn't even think, even now I even think about things that football-wise, it just happens. It's obviously I played for a long time, but it's second nature. But even before that, it's kind of like I knew that I was gonna play, and there's nothing that you could tell me that I wasn't going to be able to play professional football.
When we interviewed for the story, you gave me some fascinating detail about your training, how hard you pushed yourself. Can you give us some of those examples right now?
Well, you figure to be a world-class athlete, you got to do something.
Right.
So
a little extra, right?
Little extra. So you're pushing yourself on a daily basis, whether it's getting up at 6 a.m. I pretty much trained from about 6 to about 1 every day in the off season, just to, and it wasn't just, working out. I mean, you really have to take care of your body. I mean, you have to stretch. You've got to go see a massage therapist. You have your weight training session. You've got your endurance. When you go out and train, you got to train to get yourself faster, get yourself ready to play. So it was just an extensive workout. Mentally, you got to go in and watch film. You would think that it's the off season.
Right.
No, it's really not. You got to go look at how do you better yourself. Look at all your and have the team cut up. Just cut me up all the one-on-ones that I had this entire year.
Right.
So now I can go watch my feet. I can watch my hips. Watch how the receivers beat me. How did I get beat on this? I mean, so it's really being a student of the game, mentally, physically, and emotionally. So you tie yourself into really being the best that you can be.
Absolutely. And you also have a different point of view in terms of athletic training. You feel that you do benefit most from learning other sports and applying what you learn to your sport?
I really do. I was a multi-sport athlete in high school. I actually got I had a lot of scholarships coming out of high school, but I played basketball, I played football, I played baseball, I did track, I did everything. I even tell the kids now that If they had a badminton team, I'd try to be on a badminton team, and I would do what I could to win.
Right, because you learn strategy.
You learn so many
techniques.
different things, you know. In basketball, I mean, it's 5 guys on the field. I mean, on the court, and how they work together is much different than how you work on a football field or on a baseball diamond. And if you can learn those intricacies, you can apply that to your own sport. I really do. I think some of the things you do football-wise physically prepare you for basketball. The things you do baseball-wise, physically with your hand-eye coordination, prepare you for both basketball and football. You know, I really think that each sport you can draw something from each one of those, and I think some of our students today are so caught up in just being a one sport.
Right.
Yeah.
Well, that's how some coaches try to train their students, right? Just be very focused in one area.
Well, that's their philosophy, and I won't say that they're wrong. I just disagree.
Right.
You know, I think that your body needs a break at times too. You know, you can't really train. You can, but you're working yourself so hard at each sport. I mean, for that same sport the whole year. When's your downtime?
Yeah, exactly.
You know, when are you going to take a break from it? When you're going to be refreshed by something different? You know.
Absolutely. And now that you're coaching high school football, what lessons do you want to leave the kids that you're coaching?
The lasting impression that I would like to leave on any student or any person that I encounter would be high character. Let your word be your word. My grandfather told me a long time ago, really all you got in this world is Jesus and your word. And if you break your word, what do you have?
Right.
So I try to stand by my word. I try to you know, be the best that I can be at all that I do. But really, high character. There's so many different things other than, the kids that are at St. John that I'm coaching, how many are going to go to the next level? I don't know. But I tell my students that it's a very low number.
Right.
So what can you do besides this? How can you build your character? How can the life lessons, how can you, like we talked about at school, the serving, how can you serve someone else? You know, how can you better yourself within your school? That comes first.
Yes.
At St. John. How can you do that? Why am I talking to you about whether you're tardy or not?
Right.
You know, so that's the lesson that I want the kids to
Excellent.
get from me is high character, your word, and just be a better person in life.
Excellent. I'm going to open up this question to both of you as coaches. How do you combine spirituality with sportsmanship and faith with football? Tony?
Well, spirituality with sports, again, when we go back to those 4 elements, at St. John, we really try to foster an environment where Christ is first in everything we do. So how do we encompass spirituality? It's more so where we begin our practice with prayer. We end our practices with prayer. The students are able to they're able to witness to one another. You know, they will lead devotions and Bible studies and whatnot amongst each other. So it's those life lessons that we're trying to teach, as Coach Marion mentioned. But the other side of that is we're hoping that with those 4 elements that I mentioned earlier, we're able to create a well-rounded individual where they're able to not only praise and serve a higher being, but they're also able to respect and serve family. They're also able to have an appreciation for solid education, and they're able to take time for themselves. So
Absolutely.
I always go back to those 4 elements simply because at St. John we feel as though if those 4 things are in their proper perspective, then you have a very great chance at being successful in life.
Absolutely. I wanted to add for our listeners that the feature which appears in our March issue, I hope I said it right the first time, can be seen on page 26, and there's some really strong photos in there that was worked together with you guys, with our photographer. There's one where Coach Brock Marion is standing with 4 students kneeling with the Bible in their hands. I just thought that was such a tremendous photo and image to portray there. And another one, they're on the field where they look like they're in a huddle position, and all the players have their hands on each other's backs, Larry. It's a very strong image. To me, that really shows bonding and sportsmanship. I mean, how else are you going to be a good team unless you're really bonded with your fellow player?
Correct.
What I try to impress upon my football players is this is your team, okay? But in order for us to be a great team, we've got to serve one another. We got to look out for one another, and that's how you blend the spirituality, as you would say, is become a servant first.
Right.
And if you are serving each other, that makes our family, our football family, a tighter knit family. You can uplift. You're always praising one another, never tearing anyone down. And that's when I believe that Christ came. He didn't come to tear us down. He came to build us up. He came to give us a brand new life, and he served. And what better example than that for our team is if we're serving as Christ served. So that's kind of what I try to do. I mean, that some of the things that they always tell me, well, Coach Brock, it's hard, or they don't feel like doing this. Well, the first thing I hit them with was Christ didn't want to get up on that cross.
That's right.
But he did it anyways. So if we're
He did
to be,
it for us.
yeah, if he endured the cross, we can endure this little hardship that we're going through right now.
Absolutely. That's a beautiful statement. I want to switch gears a little bit and have you both share the story about how you met, how you got involved, Brock, with St. John Lutheran.
It's a weird one, but it's a great one, because I think very highly of Anthony Fisher. Now that I've encountered him for this short amount of time that we've been seeing each other on a daily basis. But he's a good man of God. He's a good role model, a good leader, excellent coach. And I didn't know this when I first met him. So I've been truly blessed in that area for him to actually call me to be a coach for St. John. But we met at a charity basketball game, and we were on the same team. And to this day, I still don't know how long ago it was. It's a year and a half. I don't know. I've been saying 6 months, but it's been a while. And we just exchanged numbers. And up jumped the goose. He calls me and says, would I like to be a coach at St. John Lutheran? I'm thinking, I don't know. He's like, and it would, be the head coaching job. And I'm thinking, really, I don't know. He said, think about it. And so I thought about it, and something just kind of stuck out. I'm like, I haven't really encountered this man for a while. For him to up and call me right now, something was just
the right time.
The right time, and it's like I said, I really have been asked to coach quite a bit from quite a few different head football coaches here in Marion County. If they say that they haven't, then they're not being truthful.
Yeah. You shared with me a really nice story that went along with this. I'm not sure if I covered it in the feature, and you don't have to go into every detail if you don't want, but you were thinking about it, and there was a lyric or a song that appeared for you?
There's a song that before I actually took the job, he just told me. Actually, we went and had lunch. I brought my wife. If you bring your wife to something, you're pretty serious about it. So he said, just give it some thought. I said, okay, I'll call you on Tuesday. He calls me. I'm back on Tuesday. I said, give me a few more days. Give me till Thursday. I said, man, you got to give me another day. And then on Friday, I just wanted it to be right. I said, I'll let him know. But I was listening to a song that I'd heard. Actually, I was riding my lawnmower, cutting the grass, and it was a song that "Go Back to Your First Love" is what it what it was,
Right.
and let the fire burn again. And I had, left football because I thought, I really felt that God was telling me that it was time for me to retire, and now this was the time for Him to tell me to come back. And not that I'm going to be playing football, but definitely the fire will burn in a different manner because I'll be in a coaching's role. Still, I coach with a passion for football because I love it. But the fire definitely burns a little different now.
Absolutely.
It really does.
That's a wonderful story. Thanks for sharing that. And Coach Fisher, do you have something to add to that story, how you guys met?
Actually, I do. The first interaction, I believe we talked about the Green Bay Packer Dallas Cowboy rivalry just briefly, but and when I say briefly, it probably was a sentence or two.
Mm-hmm.
And I think that third sentence was, "Hey, and this comes from Coach Marion. Hey, I do a Bible study. If you'd like to come, I'd love to have you." And I was amazed by that,
Wow,
simply
yeah.
because you just don't run across a lot of people, let alone professional athletes,
Mm-hmm.
that emphasize or that encourage, foster those kind of relationships.
Mm-hmm.
And we talk about first impressions now that we get a chance to talk on a daily basis. And for Coach Marion and for myself, first impressions are huge. And I thought we more than likely, because of where we are now, we both walked away being pretty impressed with one another.
Mm-hmm.
A lot of people try to define
Mm-hmm.
who Brock Marion is by football or with football.
Mm-hmm.
And for me, I was able to see something different. And that's pretty much what led me to say, hey, I would love to have this guy as our head football coach, our next head football coach.
Absolutely, and that sentiment is shared by all of us. We've gotten to know him as a man, and
Absolutely.
it's a tremendous story to tell and share with all our community here. I do want to lighten the mood a little bit, and with the last few minutes here, and I know you're very humble, Brock, but I did mention in the feature that I thought it'd be cool to have a slogan made after you, very much like Michael Jordan's slogan, "Be like Mike." I thought it'd be cool to say "Rock like Brock," and just use the title of the feature and just make that stick.
That was pretty cool.
Yeah, and for those who not familiar with the term, to rock at something is to be exceptionally good at it. And in your case, I feel it applies to both football and faith. So that's, when you rock like Brock, you are really walking the walk and living by example.
Yeah.
So what do you think? Should we make it stick?
Yeah, that's kind of funny. I don't think I've ever shared this story with anyone before, or even when you first wrote that in the article. That was kind of rock like Brock. That was, I think it was 6th grade.
It goes way back.
Yeah, 6th grade, I think.
Mhm.
I was running for president
Uh-huh.
in the 6th grade, and "Rock Like Brock" was my slogan. It's
Look at
crazy,
that.
seriously.
Full circle.
Man,
It
come
does.
full circle,
It's
man.
gonna follow you for life.
Yeah, I don't know if we should use it because I didn't win.
Oh, well, I think you have in life, so it fits.
Oh gosh, that's amazing.
That's funny. Thanks
Yeah.
for sharing that.
Yeah.
Okay, well, we have a few minutes left. Brock, share with us some of the lessons you learned from the NFL days that we talked about in the story that you want to pass on to the next generation.
I want to say, I guess the first thing would be never tell anybody or never let anyone tell you you can't do something.
Mm-hmm.
Only because I wasn't very big when I was growing up. I believe I was 4'11" going into high school,
Mm-hmm.
and I just continued to grow. Even into the NFL, I grew, and I think mainly because if I look back, I needed I kind of look at it, I needed to rise to the occasion.
Mhm.
Every time that at each level, I had to rise to a different occasion. So not only did I rise athletically, but physically and body-wise,
Bodily, right?
I rose to the occasion. But really you can achieve a lot of things if you just put it in your brain that you can. I mean, I guess one of the best things I can, sports-wise, that I can leave with anyone is I did have a coach tell me at one point, I'm not the biggest, fastest, or strongest, but you are big, you are fast, you're strong, but there's going to be someone bigger, faster, stronger than you. But if you can be technically sound, if you can out-technique that person, regardless of how big he is, you got a chance to win.
Absolutely. Great message. Thank you for sharing that. With our last few seconds, if you both of you have something to promote for St. John Lutheran, anything coming up in either school or your personal lives?
I would like to invite any prospective students that would care to see what goes on a daily basis at St. John. We have our shadowing program every Wednesday. You would need to contact Miss Vanessa Baxley to make that happen.
Okay.
And I would also invite some of the listeners to come out and join us in a service. Our services are Wednesdays, Saturdays, and Sundays, and the time on that, Wednesday and Saturday, 6 p.m., and Sunday morning at 9 a.m.
Okay. Thank you both very much for being my guest today, and thank you, Larry, for hosting us today. That's our time.
All right, good.
Okay, guys.
Appreciate it. Very good show. We'll be right back.
Ocala's information station, 1370 WOCA.
Ocala. The weather is brought to you by myfwc.com. Life jackets save lives. Where at Florida? It'll be mostly cloudy through the morning and midday hours with a couple of showers and strong thunderstorms coming through the area.